what are your thoughts on your own experiences, Circus?
Um, well, I want to say two things because when I get out of here, actually, um, I have a unique position where I see both sides of the spectrum, not because of what I've necessarily lived through, but because of what I've seen and the person that I am. And I'm not gonna go so far as to say that I'm grateful for everything that I have. Just that I have a very good understanding and grasp of it. Um, I I choose to be who I am in terms of my character, and part of that is not necessarily gratitude, but humility.
Yeah,
That just has gratitude as like a, a, a cherry on, or
I
that
s-
it just releases gratitude as a given because of that person that I want to be. Um,
I see a lot of not just humility, but like I think you see as the things that you are given. I think you see them as duties. Like someone has beholden this to me to do, to give it, not to give it to me for me to take, but for me to give it purpose. That's how I see the way you see life. You know?
well, that's very accurate. There's a lot more to it than that, but
Yeah, yeah,
um, maybe in another day we'll talk about that.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
there's one thing I want to say, a message perhaps, and there has to be like a warning beforehand. Um, if any individual, whether it's today or 10 years from now, happens upon this video, gets to this part, and you feel called out, understand that I am calling you out if you feel that way, and I would like you to change your ways because
You
you're
don't want to
making
be
my
too.
life difficult,
Don't be too mean. Don't
and
be too mean to them.
you're making my life difficult and the lives of others like me difficult. You're making the lives of people who want to do actual real work in this planet difficult because of your sheer existence. And I want you to understand. For those of you out there, right, that want more out of life, that strive to have more possessions and things like that, I'm not talking about. Do whatever it is that you need to do to get those things. Even crime, if you must. Just understand that there are police officers and, let's say, heroes out there that are going to stop you if they find you, and that's just the choice that you make. I'm specifically talking about those people that they want more out of life, right? Just like the ones previously mentioned, except that because they can't get it for whatever reason, they decide it's a good idea to screw everyone else around them because they're unhappy with themselves and their lack of achievement. So instead of turning that hate inward, look at themselves, what they do is turn that hate outward and essentially hate everyone who has more than them, right? And get even more upset when they start talking about like what they had to do to get what they get, because then that just makes them mad. It makes them mad, at least from what I can see, because they're really upset with themselves. And they're like, oh, just because you did this or you were just so lucky to have that, and how does that the like a privilege or way to talk down to me because I don't have a. It's nothing about that. It's that you don't get because of the lack of things that you have. Be upset with other people because either they started further along than you, or because they work harder than you, or for whatever other reasons, even if it was some type of privilege due to race, gender, or color, to then come around and say how horrible the world is because you don't get to have it. Look, man, uh, it's not bad in the world that's making this. It's that you could live a much happier life if you have less, and because you are going to be upset that you have less, or you don't want to accept that you need to get to live underneath your means, well, figure that out, my guy or girl. Uh, the world is much grander than that. Eh,
That
that that's me trying to be nice. Because if I was, it would be a lot shorter if I would say if I was trying to say exactly what I want to say. So it end up being longer when I want to say. Because I really, really just want to say what I feel, but I can't.
Yeah, I want to hear what you want to really say maybe later, but yeah, dude. Yeah, there's people like that in the world. And that's the true that's a good
To me, that's
that's a
specifically
real
what
bad.
causes the bad.
that
Yeah,
is
that's a real bad.
that's some
Is the
that's a
bad
source
of
of
the
evil,
people
man.
that do things? Is the bad of the people that do things and feel justified because
Yeah,
they think that they're doing the world a favor,
yeah,
right? Or they're on their ivory tower thinking like putting all this stuff out there like, oh, they're on their ivory tower, or they're on the right and it's everyone else that's on their ivory tower and they are the ones who know the right way. Like, bro, if you don't if you don't come down to my level, bro, and like we can settle this with knives.
yo, I'm telling you, man. Like that, it's like that justified anger, man. It's just when you feel like you're justified in your actions, and you sit there being like, yeah, I'm doing bad shit, but I'm justified in doing this bad shit. Like that's a whole other breed. That's a whole other thing of like, man, that's not just people doing bad things with good intentions. That's people doing bad things with bad intentions, but covering it up with like some sort of pretty freaking words, or being like, but it's not my fault, it's y'all's fault, like that kind of thing. Like that's just messed up, you
And
know?
there's much worse than that.
Yeah.
Worse than that, of those people, I will say nothing. I'm just going to tell you what they are. Is the specific breed of person that has or is actively being abused by someone above them.
Mm.
And because of their grandiose feelings or ego, in order to cope with what's happening to them, especially when they're powerful people in of themselves who have every means to remove themselves from their situation. I mean,
Or call
objectively,
them
like they
out.
really have.
Or call
They
them
have
out.
no. They have all the means to remove themselves from a situation where they're being abused or
Yeah.
taking advantage, but they choose to stay in that situation out of simultaneous spite and ego. And what they do as a coping mechanism is abuse other people.
Yeah.
That specific brand of person,
Oh man.
like, oh, dude, like
That
that is like the, like not like the and then like the only one, but that is one of the most disgusting types of people on the
mm-hmm.
planet, in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
Like, you could leave the situation, you could get out of this because you have the money, you have the power, but you choose to stay, and you simultaneously, while you're suffering from being abused and you're aware of yourself being abused, you choose to abuse others.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, seriously?
That takes
Wow.
that takes another breed, man. You know, there's different breeds of like these types of people, and there's the type that, like, you know, the ones who abuse others. Then, you know, then there's the people who get abused, which those are the victims, those are the survivors. And then there's those middle people who are simultaneously both the abuser and the victim, but they still choose to be an abuser. So they know what it's like to be on the other end, and they still choose to be what to be their own
Yeah.
monster, to be their own enemy. That takes
It's a
that's
different
next
thing.
level shit right there.
It's a different thing when you're like abusing others, but you're doing it out of like trauma and you're not completely aware of the scope in which your
Yeah, yeah,
actions are
there's
leading
that.
to.
There's definitely that.
Yeah, there's like
But
you're still an abuser,
yeah.
right? But you're an abuser with like that's not to say excusable. That you should still be punished, but I can understand,
Yeah,
right? It's not.
it's like a, oh, I understand where you got there and you were never aware of it because the resources you had never let you know,
Yeah,
let you realize it. But it's the
like
people who,
there's redemption for you. You can
yeah,
you can
yeah,
you can change, right?
yeah, yeah.
It's different.
The people who willingly know, who know, and like they have the awareness, they have the intelligence, the intellect to understand, and the self-awareness to know what they're doing, but they do it anyway. That's the people that grind my gears, man.
No, you also have to add, like, they have the means by which they
Yeah,
can stop
yeah,
and get out
exactly.
of it.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah,
they're not only self-aware, but they can leave, they can go, but they stay. Yeah, that's messed up.
yeah. So in terms of bad, like, we're not trying to only look at the good like it's kumbaya. In
Yeah, yeah,
terms of
no, right.
bad,
Oh
I
yeah,
want I want I want people to listening
yeah,
to this.
we gotta start talking about
I
all
want
this
people.
bad because we've been too.
No, it's,
We need to
it's not that I'm
put
going to talk
shit.
about the bad. It's just
We gotta talk
I want
about.
I want people to.
We gotta talk about the bad to
I want
shine some light on this
listeners to
shit.
know.
We need to fucking. We need to put a spotlight on them so they fucking know that we know. It's like we know who you are.
I want to make sure that say that
Yeah.
whatever audience that we can ever get understand that when I say all this, like all this good stuff and I talk about nothing but the good, it comes from a perspective that
Yeah.
I know what bad is, and
Yeah.
I know what evil is. It's easy to talk about nothing but good if you've never seen evil or you don't know what it is,
Yeah.
right? So I said what I said so that, in like kind of like what you're saying, in contrast, so that people don't get the wrong idea. Like I don't know that bad exists. No, I know that it exists. I might know about its not only its existence but how it functions more than a lot of people that
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
But